with the civilizations and contributions in Mesoamerica. First, let's talk about the contributions of the Maya civilization. From 2600 BC through the 16th century, the Maya civilization became known as Mexico and Central America. Mayans possessed significant talents which made their knowledge beneficial in the creation of modern-day items. The Maya civilization has contributions in different fields. In the field of astrology, according to Maya astronomers, 81 lunar months is equal to 2,392 days, about 6.5 years. This is identical to the current estimation of 29.53059 days, about 4 weeks. They recognize that a year is more than 365 days, about 12 months, long and calculated 365.2420 days, about 12 months. This calculation is more precise than the calendar we use today, which estimates a year to have 365.2425 days, about 12 months. In the field of agriculture and cacao beans, the Maya civilization used different machinery to improve the growth of their crops. They are also the first to discover the benefits of the cacao bean between 250 and 900 AD. They contributed to the creation of the chocolate we consume today, and because it has so many purposes, it was used as currency. In the field of mathematics, the Maya has a precise number system with three symbols: 0, shell shape, 1, dab, and 5, a bar. Numerals from 0 to 19 are represented by these symbols, and numbers larger than 19 are written vertically in groups of 20 using place markers. In the base 20 system, the second position was worth 20 times the value of the numeral, the third slot was worth 202 or 400 times the value, and so on. When we talk about Maya art, Mayan art has received widespread praise around the world. Maya art had a very contemporary feel to it. The Maya decorated stone landmarks, stucco, and walls with artwork made of various materials including wood, jade, obsidian, and ceramics. Talking about the Maya calendar, the Maya developed a system into a modern calendar. The Maya calendar has three unique date frames: the Tzolkin, Divine Timetable, and Hab, Common Calendar, and the Long Count. The Tzolkin mixes a cycle of 20 named days with another cycle of 13 numbers to make 260 distinct days. Its 365-day calendar based on our sun is known as the Hab. It is also considered as their agricultural calendar. It lasted a year and a half, with 20 days about 3 weeks in each month and 5 days known as Weyeb, which were considered dangerous days. With the Mayan writing system, according to history, the Maya utilized around 700 different glyphs. Today, 80% of the language is still comprehensible. The Maya was aware of their past, which they documented on pillars, walls, and stone slabs. They also wrote about gods, daily life, their leaders, and a variety of other topics. When it comes to creation of modern-day items, hallucinogenic drugs are an example. Shamans consume stimulants to enter a state where they can connect with spirits to perform rites for the gods. The drugs they take affect the body where their pain or aches are decreased, and they feel more invigorated. These medications are known as pain relievers in modern medicine. Rubber is another example. Around 1600 BC, several centuries before the discovery of vulcanization, the first reported use of elastic occurred in Mesoamerica. According to experts, the Maya knew how to produce elastic long before the material became popular in the mid-19th century. Moving on with the contributions of the Aztec civilization. The Aztecs, a Native American tribe, dominated northern Mexico during the Spanish conquest. They settled at Tenochtitlan, which is now Mexico City, in 1325. They are a nomadic tribe who lived on small islands in Lake Texcoco. With Aztec art, It includes sculpture, music, and poetry. The sunstone, also known as the Aztec calendar stone, is the most well-known Aztec sculpture. The Aztecs made music using the flute and drums. They were skilled in carving sculptures in stone and wood of diverse sizes. In the field of mathematics, the Aztec number system was significantly better than other country systems at the time. Their calendar's design was primarily dependent on mathematics. When determining land areas, the Aztecs employed hand, heart, and arrow symbols to indicate proportional distances. In contrast to our decimal system, the Aztecs employed a vigesimal system, 20, as its foundation. Floating gardens is another contribution from the Aztec civilization. Chinampas, also known as floating gardens, were constructed for agricultural purposes. These gardens can produce 7 crops each year, which is plenty for their people. The size of these gardens varies depending on the available space and resources. They also invented the canoe. In the field of medicine, Aztec medicine exists in many different forms due to their knowledge of entheogenic plants and animals. The Aztecs believed that disease could only be caused by an angry god or goddess, witchcraft or black magic, or from nature. Another civilization is the Toltec civilization. It was a pre-Columbian Mesoamerican culture that ruled a state based in Tula, Hidalgo, Mexico, during the early post-classic period, from 1900s to 1521 AD, of Mesoamerican chronology. The pre-Columbian era in the history of the Americas encompasses the period from the Upper Paleolithic habitation of North and South America through European colonization, which began with Christopher Columbus' expedition in 1492. Typically, the era refers to the history of indigenous American cultures prior to considerable European impact. For other tribes, this could have happened decades or even centuries after Columbus. Next is the Zapotec civilization. This civilization was a pre-Columbian indigenous civilization that existed in Mesoamerica's Oaxaca Valley. Their culture dates back at least 2,500 years, according to archaeological data. Monumental buildings, ball courts, spectacular tombs, and grave goods, including highly crafted gold jewelry, can be found at the Zapotec archaeological site in the ancient city of Monte Alban. Monte Alban was one of Mesoamerica's first significant cities. It served as the capital of Zapotec polity that ruled over much of what is now the Mexican state of Oaxaca. The Zapotec are a group of about 50 indigenous Mesoamerican languages that form a primary branch of the Otomanguean language family, and are spoken by the Zapotec people in Mexico's southwestern and central highlands. And lastly, Olmec civilization and its contributions. The Olmecs were the first Mesoamericans to comprehend the notion of zero, build a calendar, and devise a hieroglyphic writing system, according to legend. They are also credited for developing the first conduit drainage system in the Americas. The Olmecs' cultural contributions can be divided into numerous categories, such as monuments and pyramids. This initial settlement of the Gulf of Mexico, in what is now known as Veracruz and Tabasco, was a civilization that flourished during the pre-classic period of Mesoamerica, roughly between the years 1200 AD and 1500 AD and 400 AC. They are thought to be the most distinct manifestations of Olmec civilization. These are huge sculptures made of carved basaltic stone that reach heights of up to 3 meters. Human heads, perhaps representing warriors or even gods, large altars and thrones, life-size human figurines, and hybrid forms of animals and humans are the most common finds. The La Venta Museum in Villa Hermosa houses several altars and giant heads that can be seen in the open air, as well as in other locations such as squares and other museums.